Welcome to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld, and this program is about the exploration of our consciousness and how that is evolving and who we are as these evolving human beings. Part of that goes back to an understanding of ancient traditions. One of the earliest influences on my development of awareness has been the teachings of Carlos Castaneda, the Toltec tradition, Nahualism. Well, today I have a guest who's from a similar tradition, Sergio Magana.
Hello, Alan. Thank you for the invitation.
Okay, I didn't mean to totally associate you with Castaneda because you are similar, but people know about Toltecism and Nahualism because of those 10, 11 books that he wrote about it.
The book that I wrote, The Dawn of the Sixth Sun, and an Italian magazine put like the new Castaneda, and they use it in the book.
The new Castaneda.
Yeah, but that wasn't my idea, but
I think what you're really here to talk about is the techniques of dreaming, of breathing, and how that's accessible to us as human beings, right?
Of course. Nahual comes from, the word really comes from a Nahuatl. Nahuatl is a language.
Nahuatl is a language. An ancient language.
Yeah, without the T is Nahual, that is known because of Castaneda, and with a T before the L, it's Nahuatl, the language. Yeah.
Nahuatlism.
That's a very old language that was spoken by the Olmecs. Then the Teotihuacans, then the Xochicalcas, then the Toltecs, and for the Mexicas or Aztecs. So it's like
and the Aztecs.
They
all spoke that language.
So it's like 5,000 years of lineage. And Nahual is a word that is in Nahuatl, that comes from Negua. Negua means I, who I am really.
The soul, the spirit.
Sort of, but for us, for example, there are energetic bodies. Tonal, tonal comes from tonatiuh, that is the sun. So it's
wait, tonal comes from what?
Tonatiuh is a word, a Nahuatl word that means the sun.
The sun.
Yeah, the sun.
Tonal. So tonal means sun, basically.
No, tonal means who you are awake, because in the sun kingdom.
When you're awake in daylight.
In daylight.
Oh, so tonal is when you're awake in the sun.
Yeah.
During the day.
So, for example, now we are doing this interview, like you are in your tonal, Alan, and I am in my tonal.
Even though it looks
Sergio.
like night out there, right?
Okay, yeah. But of course, in night, if we are sleeping, we would be in the Nahual, and if we are awake, we would be in the tonal. For us, these are energetic bodies. For example, your tonal is surrounding your head when you are awake, and your Nahual is surrounding your navel.
When you're awake.
Yeah, when you're awake. But in the moment that you fall asleep, the tonal for us pushes the Nahual up, and the Nahual comes here. That's why you enter in complete different reality, and the tonal stays here.
At your waist, at your navel.
Yeah, and at your navel, in this area. When you fall asleep, they exchange positions. So to become a Nahual or a lucid dreamer would be that instead of making this change, just like this, you are able to join them and to become one.
That's the Nahual and the tonal integrate as one. How do you do that?
It's a huge training. For example, you must change your perception.
Tell me, how do you do that? Because I am very interested in changing perception.
For example, in the tonal, if you see, our perception always goes out. I am not seeing myself now.
Because you're seeing out there.
I am seeing you.
Out. Yes.
I am seeing you.
Yes.
And I'm seeing the camera and all those things.
Yes.
So I cannot see myself.
Right.
So that's a huge problem, a huge task for the perception of the Nahual, because when you fall asleep, the tonal falls asleep, then the Nahual begins watching the dream, and then that's why you almost never appear in your dreams, because one is sleeping, the other is watching. So to force your Nahual to appear in the dreams and the tonal to see the dream, that would be like lucid dreaming, we start the training not dreaming. We start that in the mirror.
You start the practice of looking in the obsidian
forcing
mirror.
yourself obsidian mirror or in a common mirror, because this is not the training of the obsidian mirror.
So this is to train
to see yourself
in your dream.
Yeah, but first you must train your perception to see yourself. That's why you are in front of a mirror with masks that we call shayaka. Shayaka in Nahuatl is masks. So you are. It's a very deep training because you are telling your history. With a mask in front of the mirror for hours and hours, a lot of days.
Are you recapitulating your history?
Something. It's a kind of. It's named Quetzaltzin in Nahuatl. That means the great birth. So you are like telling your history, but it has like a great purpose because your ego falls down. Because if you see your history with other face, that is like a mask, you don't have like any identification between your face and between the one that lived that. And that's when you are able to dream yourself in different shapes and forms. If you always dream yourself like you will keep repeating the same history.
So let me see if I get what you're saying. So part of the practice of this lucid type Nahuatl dreaming
it starts awake in the mirror.
It starts awake. You look at yourself in a mirror with a mask on, and you tell your story as if this new face was your face, and then you start to identify your form.
With different forms.
You start to identify with different forms. So when you show up in the dream,
you can change
you can change your form.
You can change your form.
And why is that important?
Because there are archetypes. For example, if you appear in the dream like a serpent, if you need a healing, and a lot of people that was sick in the moment that they appear like a serpent, they get healed. For example, if you need money, you have for the tradition the Nahual of the crocodile, that is Zipactli in Nahuatl, is the one that gives money.
So if you appear as a crocodile,
so with red eyes. And
red eyes.
Yeah, that comes because, for example, we do the obsidian mirror training first also. So in an obsidian mirror, you must be able to, through breathings, alter your state of consciousness to be able to disappear your face, that because we are really nothing, and then change the reflection, and it changes to a red eyes and then the shape that you want. And that's the base of the chacmoles, that are Mayans, or the Tezcatzoncatl, that are the ones that are like in the top of the pyramid, like this, in their abs, and they are turning this way and this way. You were breathing, destroying the something, and then the dreams that created that, and then you turn into the mirror, into the water, and change your reflection, and that would be the way to go to the dreaming state. That was the most advanced technique of the ancient Mexico.
Oh wait, so they would use obsidian mirrors, which is a black stone,
polished
black stone, and the chalk molds. I mean, the statues of the chalk molds would have this.
It's like a yoga posture, because then it was so defamated because the Spanish said that there were the hearts of the sacrifice, but it's not true. It is a complete posture for entering in the dreams. So for us that know how to do it,
so you take on the position of the chalk mold?
Yeah, before dreaming.
With the mirror on your lap?
Or the Mayans did it with water. And for us in the Nahuatl tradition, we did it with the mirror.
With the obsidian mirror.
Yeah, but it's the same. It's because in the water you reflect.
I see. So,
but it's more difficult. I honor the Mayans because.
So you've done this.
Yeah, of course. I have been practicing this for years and years, but it's more difficult in water.
And you teach this, the path of the obsidian mirror.
Yeah, and the chacmo and dreaming. Yeah. That's what I have dedicated my life to teach.
You have.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of it all?
For us, the dream creates this reality.
The dream
created the Nahual creates
reality.
The tonal. So this would be the dream of the dream. So
when you dream your dream, so if this is all a dream, and then you
this is the dream of the dream. So if you want to change this, you must change through dreaming. In the awake, for us, it has everything, because like I told you before, and not in the interview, but before, Toltec really means comes from Toli. Toli is a Nahuatl word that means the tule. The tule is it's a tree where it was like get like a rover that moves, but in a metaphorical sense, it means the measure that is moving.
Like a pattern, like a moving pattern.
A pattern that is in the cosmos.
A pattern in the sky. The cosmos means pattern, actually.
Yeah.
So So Toli means
The
measure,
the ones
pattern.
that had the measure
So the Toltecs were the ones that understood
numbers.
the sacred numbers.
And for example, for us, the number of the sun, of the awake, the tonal, would be the 13, and it's based in the rotation of the sun, because the sun equator rotates in 26 days. So if you cut it in because every 13 days he gives you a new phase, so that's what we call the solar wave.
Wait, the sun rotation is 26 days?
26 days.
What do you mean the sun rotation?
One rotation of the sun, like the one of the
the
Earth.
sun itself rotates.
Its self-rotation,
Oh.
it happens in 26 of our days.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So,
I see.
so the sun gives you a different shape every 13 days.
Why was this rotation of the sun important to the Toltec?
Because for us, we are solar consciousness, so we respond, and the rotation of the poles is in 20 days of the sun poles. If you see, the poles are smaller, and then the equator is much.
It's a little spread out. Like,
yeah. So it lasts 20 days in giving a complete round in the poles, and 26 in the center. So that's why for us, if you cut that in two, that would be like the two faces of the sun. It will give you two sacred of our numbers, 10 and 13.
How they even know that the sun rotated 26 days?
But
science has proved that.
Yeah, of course now. But that's the question of the $1 million. Because always a lot of people ask me, I don't know. It's a lot of mathematics.
But they could see these energies really. And the mathematics.
And the oral tradition, of course, talks about cataclysms and past.
Cataclysms.
Yeah, and past humankind. So probably the wisdom comes much for.
Tell me, how old is this tradition?
The oral tradition starts 5 suns ago, and 5 suns are periods of 6,625 years. So if we put 5, it's like 30-something thousand years. That's where it's.
This is your tradition, the tradition you come from.
Yeah. And Mexico even it's named the place of the navel of the moon, and it has a.
That's what Mexico means.
It means, yeah. It comes from Nahuatl Metzli Xictlico. All the country, almost any Mexican knows, is named after the discipline of the Chacmol or the Tezcatzoncatl. Because for us, the moon is the Black Tezcatlipoca, and the Black Tezcatlipoca is the smoking mirror. So if you put the mirror here, it would be the navel of the moon. And all the countries named because it was a country of dreamers, but almost all that information is lost. So the place of the navel of the moon would be this discipline. Dreaming.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. So the dream, though, from what you're saying, was such a big part of the ancient Mexican culture.
Yeah, all the countries is named after that, but the people don't know it. Mexico is the place of the navel of the moon, a land of dreamers.
The land of dreamers. Incredible. Wow.
Of course.
Because we are dreaming this, right?
This is, for us, the dream of the dream.
This reality
is the dream of the dream.
And when we're dreaming...
That's the medium. Dreaming would be, for example, for us, the reality comes from the Centeotl, means the one energy, the beginning, like our equivalent for God, and for us is in the 13th heaven. We have, for the tradition, 13 heavens that are like 13 steps for coming from there to here. And the dreaming is in the 7. So, we are in after the 13, like in the 14th step.
We're right now in this reality, we're the lowest.
Yeah, it will be like the 14th step. So, if you see, it's perfect mathematics. The dream is just in the middle. Yeah.
So, where do the Mayans fit in, as far as this whole calendar thing? Is it just
the Mayans? The Mayans were a little bit later of the Olmecs. The Nahuatl lineage comes from the Olmecs. And they were developing themselves, but then they joined in the last period with the Toltecs. For example, in Chichen Itza, it was a complete mix of Mayans and Toltecs. So what we got from the Aztecs and from the later Mayans, that is the calendars that we got now, are of the fusion of Mayans with Toltecs that happened in the late period of the Mayans.
So you study with Tell me about your teachers.
My teachers. Okay, I'm originally Catholic.
You're originally Catholic.
Well, I was never,
But
but my family.
Your family is
But
Catholic,
my family is
and
Catholic.
then you knew couldn't be the whole truth.
No, the problem, no, well, not the problem. The advantage is that my mother worked, so I was really raised by my nanny that worked there. And she was the daughter of the main Otomi healer of a community, indigenous community. So I was like the son that she didn't have, she couldn't have. So she really raised me. So I didn't live like a normal life when I was very, very little, because instead of giving me medicines, she was using like the tobacco, smoking, and then blowing out the pain and all those things. Then I saw like the eggs cleansing. The first time that I heard about dreams was from her, because she told me when she was passing the egg that this is so that your bad dreams don't get truth in your reality, because dreams create this reality.
So they roll the egg over your body.
Yeah, not the, but in the energy.
But they use an actual egg.
Yeah, an actual egg, and then they broke it in a glass of water, and then they began like reading.
Reading the
egg yolk and the egg white.
And she could tell you.
I learned that.
You learned that practice too.
Yeah, I love that.
You do? I'd like to learn that too.
I love those things.
Oh, could you teach that too?
I have never taught the egg.
I'd love to see that.
But it's amazing. So it's like that, and then you put it in water, and then you begin seeing like the forms, the shapes, the letters, and
letters actually.
So yeah, sometimes they tell you.
You will tell someone's future or
or past or something like that.
So you started training in that when you were really young.
I never know that it was like kind of training. I was just exposed.
Okay.
But it was really a training, because then I was learning all these kind of things. And then I began like being fascinating for that kind of wisdom, but I never thought that I was going to do this in life.
Right. But you know, it's interesting, these two traditions you were exposed to. The Christian, the Catholic, where you're there to just listen to what someone tell you what to do, and the native tradition is where you actually are actively involved.
Yeah.
And so did you see those two polarities between the two?
Of course, and it was like my mother and my nanny. My mother was so strict and so rigid, representing the Catholic part. I'm not saying anything against, but it was like that. And my nanny was like so lovely, so
loving, so in
loving,
touch.
yeah, so in touch. So they were completely represent those two paths in which I grew.
And so you had a choice to go, in a sense, at some point.
Of
You
course.
wanted to go to the path where you're told what to do, or the path where you can actually participate in the universe.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah. No, it was like that.
So you...
And I chose the other one. I wanted
Your mother didn't like that, did she?
At the beginning, no. Now she respected it a lot. But they wanted me to study economy or something like that, and to be in the stock market and all those things. And I said not.
But tell me then, so you had this teacher who was your nanny, and then tell me of this, how you evolved.
I began like looking for teachers in Mexico. So in the main plaza of Mexico City, the Zócalo, that is where the pyramids were, that they destroyed, and now they put the cathedral and all those things.
The
Aztec Mayor Temple.
Oh, the Aztec had a temple there, and they destroyed that and built the main
cathedral, the
big cathedral in Mexico.
Yeah, but there are certain pyramids that survived that were like down. But so there are a lot of groups that are dancers. That if you see, they are drumming and with feathers and all those things.
Sacred dances.
Yeah. And I have to learn, because I try to get involved in those groups and all those things. And the groups that are in the day, dancing in the day, they are only for tourists. I didn't know that in the beginning. They are asking for money and all those things. They are not real keepers. But if you find the groups that are dancing at night, they don't want money and all those things. There are keepers of traditions there. So I try to be involved and all those things. And then I began also in doing energy and work and all those things. But in the first things that you get involved, it's like in sweating lodges, the dance, the ceremonies, a little bit of Nahuatl, all these things. But after some time, I found like my main teachers.
And who are they?
One is named Hugo Nagui,
Nawi.
Ugo Nawi means four in Nahuatl, but four is like for us is the main pattern in the universe that repeats the four phases of the moon, four moments of the day, main moments of the day, two solstices, two equinoxes to complete
So
the
four
cycle.
is a special number for this.
Yeah.
For the Nagual.
Yeah, that's why Ugo put himself Ugo Nawi, like Ugo 4.
And what did he teach you?
A lot of things, because
Like
he's very kind of sophisticated mind. But the main things that he began teaching me was how the moon affected ourselves. That was like the ancient Mexican astrology, and then dreaming. He was my first teacher about dreaming.
Your first teacher about dreaming. Let's go through your teachers and let's get back to the dreaming, because I think that's what I'm interested in. Is like working in the dream state. So you found this one teacher, and who were your other teachers?
And then he introduced me to who I consider my main teacher, that is named Xolotl.
Xolotl?
Xolotl belonged to a lineage of dreamers that is he is also in the other path, dream dancing and sweating lodges and all those things, but he belonged to a lineage that is named Tol.
Tol. Part of the Toltec.
Yeah, but it's even before history. Tol is a measure. That it has been a lineage that has been passed from 1,465 years from master to student.
And you're part of that student?
Yeah, I am his student.
But he has more than you?
He teaches in my school also in Mexico.
There's many apprentices besides you?
I
you
think
the main one?
Not the main, but I think I am the only one that he has. For example, a group of dancers every Saturday, so he teaches a little bit of the tradition. But I am the one that he teaches one-to-one.
I see. He teaches you one-to-one. Yeah. Teacher, you had another teacher though?
Then I had other one. I have had many, but for example, Xolotl's wife, she taught me some things. Alma.
And what did she teach you?
She teach the healing through the water, and how to put the energy of the sun in the water and begin reading the water and all those things.
Really?
Like the chakmol and all those things. The healing with obsidian. Then I had other one that passed away about the mirror. And then I have other Xochicuautli that she showed me the relationship between the Pleiades and the dreaming, and how to open centers in the back. Because if you want to be a lucid dreamer, for example, there are energetic centers that see the front that are for the tonal. But if you want, you must open the centers of the Nahual that are in the back. So she taught me that.
How do you do that? I know it's all
there
practice.
There is like an initiation that you call the energy of the Pleiades to a mountain, then the earth. And then it passes to the hand, and you begin opening that we call the caves of power, that are 20 that are in the back.
And you've done this?
Yeah.
And did that change your dreaming when that happened?
Yeah, I began being much more aware, and I will be able to shape-shift much more.
Shape-shift? What does that mean?
No, in the dream, not in the...
Not in life, reality, in this dream.
Yeah, not in this dream.
So you open the caves of the back? Or what?
So, but she began like she was part of the feminine teachings. So I have like mixed what Ugo told me with what Xolotl told me with what Xochicuautli told me, to make like a complete, at least for me, approach to the tradition.
You brought all these traditions together.
Yeah.
I mean, you took all these different parts that seem to be separate, and you're showing how they're sort of really part of one real ancient tradition about dreaming.
About dreaming in Mexico.
Incredible. This is great. This is such valuable information, and it's amazing it's still survived.
I don't know how, because it was so chased.
So it was chased. I mean, like
in
repressed.
You were killed when the Spanish were there. But then after that, the indigenous thing was so in Mexico seen like low, like for example,
like low class.
And all. So for example, it's incredible what happened in the country, but Nahual, it was like the wise guy of the ancient times, and now it's an insult. You can't shout someone in the
You
in the
can't call
street
someone a
Nahual, and
Why?
it will be like an insult.
Why? What does it mean?
Like they are low,
Oh, like a low class.
low class. It's
Ah.
incredible. It's like if you go to the Tibet and you say someone lama, and it's an insult.
It
So
is?
no, it's sad.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
sad.
yeah, yeah.
500 years ago, that was so degenerated in what it wasn't, and it's just coming out in Mexico because a lot of people think. I was asking some charlatans once, why was this not shared before?
Yes.
And he said because no one was interested. No, it was not that that it was a secret thing and all those things. In the past years, in the past century at least, no one was really interested in the indigenous wisdom.
It wasn't secret. They just no one wanted
to know it.
But now people want to
Now,
know.
yeah, but it was there also the prophecy of the last ruler, Cuauhtemoc of the Aztec Empire. He gave like a beautiful speech one day before the Tenochtitlan fell down to the Spanish, and he said, "Our son has hidden in the darkness, but keep our treasure because it's going to come back with the sixth son." And now it's the sixth son. So now, and the Spanish thought that the treasure was gold, and they tortured him to get where the gold was.
But now is the sixth son now because of the December 21st date?
It has to be something like that.
2012?
For us, the sons are periods of 6,625 years that are based in the Aztec calendar. If you see the outer ring, it's two serpents that represent the long count. The long count is 24,500 years. That is more or less the precession of the equinoxes. If you see the serpents down, they have like the head and like feathers, and they have like 7 balls in the feathers. And those are the Pleiades. So for the tradition, the sun is giving a spin around the Pleiades that lasts 26,500 years.
That's interesting.
And like I told you, the main number for us was the 4. So we split the long count in 4. And that's in the calendar. If you can see the calendar, you can see the outer snakes with the face of a human, that is Quetzalcoatl, the rising serpent, and with 7 balls. And then is a big ball that is the sun.
The sun. And the face in the middle with the tongue sticking out is who?
It's the 5th sun. That's in the middle. But I'm talking the ones that are in the outer. The face in the middle for us, everything was based in 4. That you need 4 movements to create something. Right. So, for example, 4 suns before, and the face and the sun would be the Tonatiuh that has the tongue out, but it's like the Tecpatl, the knife of justice through the world.
Welcome to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld. Just been talking to Sergio Magana about the ancient Nahual Toltec knowledge and how we're here to work with these great tradition that is a legacy for all of humanity. So when did it change into this next sun? When was that shift?
It's a little bit different than the Mayan count.
Yeah, tell me.
For us, the eclipses are like the
doorways.
The doorways, because if you see, the moon is like the Nahual, the sun is like the Tonal, and when they're aligned, it's like the solar system is having a lucid dream, so you can change the reality. So for us, the change is not like one day is the 5th sun and the 6th sun is the next one. It's like in nature, that it can be the night. It's at 29 periods of transition. So for
are we still in this transition?
Yeah, for us it started. The 5th sun began entering. The 6th sun began entering in the kingdom of the 5th. In a full eclipse of sun eclipse that happened in Mexico in July of 1991.
Ah.
Then they get to the same power in 2012,
They did. So
Yeah.
2012 was a
Important.
distinct, important time.
Yeah,
This December 21st.
Yeah, they went to the same power, and now slowly the fifth son is going out to allow the sixth son to rule by himself, and this transition will finish in other eclipse that will happen in 2021.
So the real beginning then of this new time. It's happening now, but
It's now, because also the sixth son now has more power than the fifth for us.
And the sixth sun is more of a time of spirituality.
Not exactly
No?
spirituality. For us, everything is based in tonal nahual, like I told you. So, and the suns alternate themselves. So there is one son of light. Light means tonal, and one son of darkness. That is means the nahual. So the fifth son was a son of light, a son of the tonal. And in the tonal, how is the perception? Everything is outside. So God is outside. The sons of light are very good to create religions. Medicine is outside. Satisfaction is outside. All these things. And the Nahual sons are sons of darkness. When you close the eyes, so you must go to the inside. So that's why a lot of the medicine formulas are falling down, the religions, the economics, because everything goes to the inside again.
So it's an internal experience. So what will the culture look like then in the sixth sun?
God goes again, but it will be a long period of transition, because I'm talking about thousands
what will
of years.
happen, you think?
If you see, we are very lucky because we have seen like the change alive, and we can compare. If you remember how life was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, people get really satisfaction in the religious answers that were outside, in having just a family, success. And now people that have all these things is not anymore satisfied. They need to conquest themselves, the inside, the economic formulas, the medicine is not so effective anymore, and everyone is looking for something different.
So this is really an amazing time, because we are in the time of the fifth sun into the sixth sun. We're seeing the light.
And we can compare.
And mostly, and the suns last for, you say, 6,000 years?
6,600 something.
So the people then in the future won't understand
how is a son of light, because they wouldn't have lived it.
But there is an evolution of a history to this. So there's a lineage. So maybe there will be some
keepers.
So, but it will be a completely different world, won't it?
I think so. All these things about 2012 that the world was finishing were based in the Nahuatl prophecy and Mayan prophecy that said the fifth sun will finish with earthquakes. There will be a lot of suffering and everyone will die.
But it didn't happen.
No, because it happened. But you should know how to speak Nahuatl, because a lot of Westerners went there, got that information, and then they translated to a modern way of seeing. For us, death is change. So, for example, it is said in the tradition that we have 6 deaths when we are alive. For example, conception is a death because you stop being dead to become alive again. Birth is other death because you stop being in the womb to go out. So poverty is other death because you stop being a child to become a young man. Puberty.
Yes,
sorry. So all those things are death. So what it was meant is that this sun was going to finish with earthquakes. Earthquakes is also physically. And also that all the structures of the other sun are shaking.
I see.
And if you see in the center of that you say of the Aztec calendar, there are like the 4 squares that are the suns, and there are like eagle claws in the middle. That means that between one sun and the other, the destruction of the old order happens to give space to the new order.
Right.
So that is what is happening. That's why everything is like kind of shaking and changing.
So what is the date of this next eclipse in 2021?
It's I don't remember now.
It's a major eclipse. And so we're moving towards that because it's all happening.
But it's now happening. Now the sixth sun is more important than the fifth.
I see. So let's talk about dreaming and the practices and maybe even show some or talk about actually how to do a dreaming practice. Like you just gave a course in New York, and hopefully you'll be back to give more.
Yeah.
So, what's the basic? The whole idea of a dreaming practice is to become lucid in the dream. To be.
No.
That's not the practice. That's not the idea.
Okay, yeah.
No, tell me.
No, yeah. Okay, it's not only become lucid, because there are a lot of, like I told you, I was in this conference about in London. It was really nice in the Royal Geographical Society that they chose like that people that were representing different dreaming traditions in the world, from psychiatrists to yoga of the dreams and all those things. Almost everyone said that you should become lucid, feel, and allow the dream happen. For us, it's not like that.
For the Naguals.
Yeah, in Nahualism, you try to control the dream. For example, yeah, we have like these codexes that if you go down in the dream, if you are falling down, jumping in the water, whatever, going down in the stairs, you are going down to the underworlds. So when you are lucid there and you see that you are going down, you stop that, because you know that the going to the underworlds would be the go to the worst part of your unconscious, so that you will create that in your awake. So we stop that and we say no, not down, up, or whatever. We are controlling the dream.
You're controlling the dream.
Yeah.
By doing some of those practices.
But and for example, we do something that is named planting dreams. Planting dreams are certain like breathing techniques, like the one that I show you with the chakmol, that we do before going to sleep, and we plant 4 dreams in how we would like to appear in the dream. So when you are falling asleep, you are repeating like, I'm a warrior of the dreams, I will be conscious while dreaming, and I will find the dreams that I planted. So instead of just entering in like in an unconscious dream, when you fall asleep, you are trying to find the dreams that you planted.
So you imagine a dream you want to have. I want to have a dream of flying. Or more specific,
but it's
tell me how you plant a dream.
For example, we have like in a basic level, we use animals like nahuales. Like I said, if you want healing, you get the serpent. If you want love or to heal a depression or something like that, you use the hummingbird. If you want money, you use the crocodile. If you want like a psychological or underworld's pattern of your ancestors healing, you use the jaguar, that he goes to the underworlds. If you want something to die, not someone, but if, for example, if you have a tumor and you want that tumor to die, you use the black butterfly. So you are planting like with different archetypes.
How many different types are there?
There are many, but animals are. There's like if you want a prophetic dream, you can use also the hummingbird and the deer.
Is there a book of all these archetypes?
I took it from the oral tradition. I'm doing one.
Are you doing a book now on these?
Of dreaming.
Of dreaming these archetypes.
I haven't read nothing like this written.
So you're the first to write this down. And so it's not just dreaming about the archetypes, it's being the archetype in the dream.
Being the archetype is you. When your Nahual represents the archetype, so it creates the tonal. We have had many testimonies of people that, for example, is sick in the night and they found the dreaming of their healing and they wake up completely healed.
Wow. So what's happened to you?
For me, I have never been sick physically, but for example, I have done a lot of things. We have a place that is Chikawamictlacayan, that it means the place of the strength in the dream, where you go and you repair your Nahual, and 4 jaguars come and lick you, and then they repair completely your Nahual. For example, that is for recovering strength and all those things, and then also if you recover the strength, you recover a lot of, you have like certain periods of rejuvenation. So in that time I had like some gray hair, and after having that dream, they colored again.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that dream again?
You want to color your hair?
No, but you dream, but tell it to me again,
because for us, there are many different rooms of dreaming. Like in the map of the world of dreams. The common dreams happen in what we call the Mictlan, the place of the death. So when you dream about your past, people that you knew, certain things that you do that psychology would call projections, you are in the Mictlan, in the world of the death. Because for us, our past is death. So you are there. And almost all the people is always there because it's the first room.
It's only the first room.
It's only the first room, because if you know that there are other rooms, you can begin ordering your Nahual to go to the other rooms.
How many other rooms are there?
Many.
Because it's interesting. I remember, I have psychological dreams, but then I dream of different people. There was a woman who I knew very well who died. She came to the dream.
That would be in the Mictlan, because in the Mictlan you can go to your past or these things, or you can go to the land of the ancestors, and people that has passed away can meet you there.
And she told me something. She was with a little child. I couldn't see yeah, it felt like a different type of dream.
So there, you're in different rooms.
So how many different rooms are there?
I don't know, but it's I haven't counted. No, but it's the Magtocuenmanajcan, that means the plant, the place where you plant dreams. There is the Cochitzinco. Cochitzinco means Cochi is sleeping, but it's a place where there are no dreams, that you only enter like in a darkness and there are no dreams. And it's like a paradox, but becoming a master of dreams is when you are able not to have a dream.
Oh.
Then there is the Chicahuamictlayan, where you repair your Nahual. Like I told you, there is that is the Tlatlauhquitemictli, that is the place of the red dreams.
The red dreams.
When you enter in a place where all the dreams happen like in red, and you begin seeing red and red, that takes you, because when you are in the womb, all the light that entered through the skin of your mother was red.
Because of the blood, yeah.
Yeah, and the blood also. And you were dreaming of yourself. So if you're able to enter in a place where all the dreams are red, you're able to regenerate your body.
Wow. And then have the jaguars lick you.
That's other place. That's other place.
So you enter into that red field and then you regenerate. Interesting.
It's amazing.
And what else? Dreaming. This is fascinating. I know I've never heard this, but somehow it makes sense to me, that what you're saying. What else?
There is other, like the place where the Nahual and the Tonal separate, and that the Nahual can see the Tonal sleeping. Other things like I experience out of the body, but that's for us is other place of dreaming.
It's another house of dreaming. Is this in your new book?
All these things will come.
And this is called, the new book is called?
Will be called the Nahualism, the Power of Dreaming.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. So to get aware, or to be, most people go to sleep, they don't remember anything, and boom, they wasted all that information that the universe is giving them. So how can we use this then? These different, how can we practice a simple technique?
Okay, like I told you, but to try to be a dreamer, it starts not dreaming. It's like in the mirror to force your perception to see you there. That would be the only way that the tonal cannot sleep and just allow the Nahual to see, and you lose consciousness. You must force yourself to appear in the dream, so someone must be watching. So your tonal must be watching. Then we do all these practices but for example, to do the chakmol, you must be trained in the obsidian mirror before, because you must be able to change your face in the mirror.
You change your face, so you're awake, of course. And
of course, yeah.
And your Nahual is pushing your tonal to shift its awareness.
Yeah, because if you begin breathing and then you are able to change your image in the mirror, you are in a half state of perception. You are like what we call ensoñación, dreaming while awake. So when you see that, and then you fall, you go out from your body to the dreaming state in that shape, you put for example, the correct language of elements in for example, for us, horizontal or flat waters are like emotional problems, but if you see rain in the dreams, it's good. So for example, if you want the purification of a sickness, you will put your snake with rain.
And that's a purification.
Yeah, or we have a specific language of dreaming of the 4 elements.
Oh, the 4 elements. So if you dream of earth?
Earth, for example, for us, the dream of the earth are us, because we are like
earth.
Of the spirit of Tonans in the Mother Earth. We are, the humans are her favorite children. So every time that we are dreaming about violence, that we fight and all those things, we cancel those dreams, because that's not fighting it really with the person. It would be fighting with the spirit of the earth. For example, every time that we see flat waters in the dream, we cancel that. Every time that we see clouds and all those things, that would be against the spirit of the wind, because the wind, his dream is to come and to take everything clean. So it's a very specific way of speaking like that in the dreaming language.
So in the workshops you teach, the first practice is to do the mirror practice.
There are many different, because I teach a lot of things.
What else do you teach?
For example, what I taught here Sunday, it was the toli, what the Toltec means. So to adjust to the measure of the cosmos through your breathings, so that you can have a healing. So that's
Tell me about that. How do you do that?
For example, for us, the 13, like I told you, is the number of the sun. That because the rotation of the sun is 26 days. 8 is the number of Venus and the moon. It is based in the mathematic, because if you see in the Aztec calendar, there are like the symbol of 5 balls all over, like a 5 of the ones that you rolled. And then that is the mathematic of Venus and the moon, because each cycle of Venus is 590 days. So if you add 5, that is 2,950 days. And if you split that in our year, that gives you the number 8. That's why for the tradition we are supposed to sleep 8 hours, and we have 8 dreams each night.
We have 8 dreams each night.
Yeah, so for us, how we do this technique is that you breathe in 13, your healing, your change with the sun, and you breathe out in 8, all the destructive forces of your cave. And
so
of
you
your
count
Nahual.
to 13, and you breathe in, counting to 13, and you breathe out, counting to 8.
8, yeah.
Yes.
And then we do that 13 times, and you have one movement.
One type of, what kind of movement?
For us, like I told you, everything is based in 4 movement, but that would be one movement from 1 to 13, that is the measure of the sun, of change. So, and then, like I said, in the Toltec tradition, an original one, everything is mathematics. So you know that first is named Se, or that comes from Centeotl. So in the first movement, you put like the intention that what needs to be healed and what needs to be transformed. Then you do other movement.
When you say movement, you actually mean physical movement?
No, movement would be the movement of the energy. But that would be, the movement are a group of 13 breathings. Then you do a next movement that would be other 13 breathings. And that would be take you to 2. 2 comes from Ome, that is 2 in Nahuatl, that is Omitl, bones. So in the second movement, we ask the energy of the universe to come down like a serpent, because the energy moves like that, cleansing from our bones, the history of our ancestors, the repetitive patterns.
Wow.
Then we do a third movement, that J is 3 in Nahuatl, that comes from Jestli, the blood. So in that movement, we ask the energy of the earth to come and enter through our feet, so that our blood becomes a serpent, the serpent of healing. And then you begin going with the serpent of healing to all the organs and to digest. That's reawakening the power of the blood, the healing from the inside. That would be very important in the sixth sun. And then we do a last movement that will take you to 52. 52 for us is the sacred number because of the Pleiades and Orion. The Pleiades and Orion, that's very important, they repeat the same position every 52 years.
Oh.
And that's when in Mexico it takes part the ceremony of the new fire. And the fire rules the dream. So when you are in 52, you plant a dream.
So after these 52 breaths, you plant a dream. So we breathe in one breath, count to 13, breathe out,
In
count
8.
to 8.
At least to have results, you should do this 52 days in a row to adjust you to the totally. If you see, everything is in measures of the cosmos. So we plan our exercise in numbers.
I do this 52 days in a row, and each time at the end of the fourth, I plant a dream.
Plant a dream.
The same dream or a different dream?
If you want this to happen, the same dream.
The same
until
dream.
it happens.
Okay.
But when
that's
we
good.
know
I
all
do
these
that.
things, we know we have many codexes, different dreams. But for start, it's a very good one.
That's thank you so much for sharing that. That's simple and powerful, and combines intention and the body and our connection to the universe.
Yeah, the toli, the measure.
So, what did the Toltecs and Nahuals feel the whole purpose of this life and this dream reality is for?
To learn to die. The dreaming practice is because dreaming is dying. So the main purpose is to learn how to die.
But why were we ever born?
Because we were experiencing. Because there are three ways how you can die. From the liver, you will be in reincarnation, and you are giving all the circle of the glyphs of the calendar. If you are born, for example, I am now a lizard, and I don't flower like it's like enlightenment for the ancient tradition. I will be born the next life in serpent, that is the next one, and like that.
How do you know you're a lizard?
Because in the measures of the calendar, it's similar to the Mayan. So in the glyph that you are, this life, if you don't flower, you must leave the next glyph and then the next glyph, and like that until you break the circle. You can break it exiting while dying from the chest, and you go
The
to
heart.
the chest.
Chest.
Yeah, it could be like
And then
that.
you go where?
To the sun until you can melt into the light. Or if you exit through the crown, you would you can choose to be independent for all your life. Independent, to be like an Nahual.
Sovereign being.
Yeah.
You know, in the Castaneda tradition, he talks about Don Juan saying he burned from a fire from within, that he didn't die, that the body became light, fire, essence.
I don't have that in the.
That's not in your tradition.
No, that this is for learning how to die, because the Mictli Nahuatl is dream and is the one that died. So for us, like dreaming is like a death.
Dreaming. So, how did you know you were a lizard in this life? How did you know that was your sign?
Because we have the the papers that compare our dates with the Aztec dates, and then you get
astrologically. You're saying?
Astrologically, like it's named Tonalamatl. That is your study of who you are awake and who you are sleeping. It's very interesting because it's like the kind of only astrology that gives you who you are in the Tonal and who you are in the Nahual.
Oh, you have two different charts.
No, it's the same one, but it gives you who you are, how your Nahual behaves and how your Tonal behaves, your challenges and your advantages.
So most astrology just gives you how your tonal, your daytime personality, and there's a whole other side. Oh, that's interesting. This what we just talked about today and tasted is really the science of these ancient traditions. They understood consciousness, they understood their relationship to the heaven, they understood
and the cosmos,
and how to work with their body and how to work with their mind. It's a complete system. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
How can people get in touch with you?
My website is sergiomagana.com, or my Facebook, Sergio Magana Ocelocoyotl. That is my Nahuatl name.
How do you spell that?
Sergio Magana.
Magana, I'll spell it out.
Yeah. And then Ocelocoyotl. That's my Facebook. Ocelocoyotl, that means coyote jaguar in Nahuatl.
Coto jaguar?
Yeah.
That's Coto a snake?
Coyote.
Coyote jaguar.
Jaguar, yeah. That's
Coyote jaguar.
Yeah, that's my.
And someone gave you that name, right?
Yeah, you cannot name however you want. From the calendar, you get 8 influences, and then you choose 2 to get a name. Wow. And then I had my sewing of name by Xolotl, my teacher.
It's so amazing, this knowledge that you are reviving, because I think it can help people integrate in this new time of the sixth sun.
Yeah. I hope a lot of people look in the ancient wisdom, because a lot of answers are there.
Yeah, beautiful. This is really, you feel the change, don't you? When in your sleep, or your...
Yeah, in my sleep and in my awake and everywhere.
What do you notice?
Because you are completely different. You are less destructive. You are...
The whole planet.
Yeah. No. Now in the whole planet, I see. If you train yourself, you will get the advantages. But now I think that everything is accelerated. Like the tradition says, in these 9 years, everyone will face or their personal cataclysms or their change, because everything is speeding
Up
yeah,
to meet the sixth sun.
yeah.
Thank you. Let's do some more shows.
Of course.
And we'll do
of course
some
it will.
radio too, and this is very interesting. I'm just want to know everything you know. No, I do, because it's, I don't know, I'm just drawn to it. I think it feels true.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
It's true.
It
it's my
works.
life.
No, it works. And what you talk about the complexity of dreams is so important to us to understand, because we just say it's dream, but what you're saying is it's a whole cosmology of the dreaming universe.
Yeah, it's like having a map for the awakened, for the
Yeah,
sleeping.
it's a map.
Guide.
It's a map, and the teachings of these great masters that came before are here to serve all humanity,
Yeah.
not just the Toltecs.
No, Toltec.
For everybody.
Like Hugo's, my teacher says, to accept that you're a Mexica is not a part, it's not a place. Is that you accept the importance of the moon and the dreaming in your life.
Mexica means what?
The place of the navel of the moon. But he says, if you become a Mexica, it's not that you're Mexican. If that you are for an area, it has a bigger meaning. Is that you accept the effect of the moon and the effect of the dreams of your life, and that you're doing something with that. So it's not for the Mexicans, it's for the world.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you to you, Alan.
This is Alan Steinfeld for New Realities. That was a very inspiring, uplifting talk with Sergio Magana. Sergio. I've just been talking to Sergio Magana about the ancient Nahuatl Toltec knowledge and how we're here to work with these great tradition that is a legacy for all of humanity. So if you want to have more about that, I'll let you know when Sergio comes back to New York or around the country. You can reach me at newrealities.com. You can email me at the letter A, at newrealities.com. Thanks for watching tonight.